Hello everyone, I invite you to every Monday's cryptocurrency review. However, we will start today's review by checking the situation of Btc Dominance in relation to the entire market. And here we can mark with the blue lines the sideways trend channel in which we are approaching the upper limit. At this point, it is worth looking at the CHOP index, which indicates that the energy has been used. However, when we look at the RSI indicator, we can see that we have strongly exceeded the upper limits of the range. Looking at these two values, we can expect a rebound in capital transfer to other altcoins. Now we can move on to marking the places of support in the event of a correction. And here in the first place we have support at 45.5%, then support is at 44.3%, 43.2%, and then 42%. Looking the other way, we will also denote the resistance for Btc Dominance, and here we see that significant resistance is at 48.4% at the upper border of the channel. However, when we go higher we can see a rapid increase to around 54.4%. Now let's move on to checking the current situation on the BTC pair to USDT, taking into account the 4-hour interval. First, we will use blue lines to mark the local uptrend channel in which the BTC price is moving. Now we can move on to marking the places of support in the event of a correction. And here, first we have support at $27,540. When the price goes lower, we can see a drop to around $27,288. We have third support at $26,537, and then we have fourth support at $25,340. Looking the other way, in a similar way using the fib retracement tool, we can determine the places of resistance. First, we will mark the resistance zone from $27,915 to $28,425. When we manage to break it, we have support at $28,652. Then support at $28,980 and $29,383. Please pay attention to the CHOP index, which indicates that we have a lot of collected energy. The MACD indicator indicates a local downtrend, while the RSI shows a small rebound, but we are still at the upper limit of the range. It is worth looking at BTC's high dominance over the rest of the market, which, combined with the indicators, can give a local sideways trend or correction after recent quite significant increases. As the second chart in today's review, we will check ETH against USDT, this time on a single-day timeframe. First, we will use the yellow line to mark the uptrend line above which the price is moving. Now let's move on to marking the places of support. We will use the trend-based fib extension tool to mark the supports, and as you can see, we have the first support at $1,694, the second support at $1,640, the third at $1,594, and then the fourth support at $1,550. Looking the other way, we can also mark the places where the price should encounter resistance on the way to increases. And here the first strong resistance from which the price has already bounced twice is at $1,768. The next resistance is at $1,817, and then the third resistance at $1,867. When we look at the volume, we can see the predominance of green candles, but currently the two green candles are less powerful than the last red one. The CHOP index indicates that the energy has been used. The MACD indicator is in an uptrend. On the other hand, on the RSI we are moving at the upper limit of the range, which may slow down further price growth or lead to a price rebound. Now let's move on to the last DOT chart in today's chart and pair to USDT, also on a 4-hour time frame. First, we will use the yellow line to mark the uptrend line from which the price has gone down. Then with the blue lines we will mark the downtrend channel in which the price is moving in the lower range. Going further, we can move on to marking support areas in a situation where the correction will deepen. Currently, the DOT price has fallen below the strong support at 0.618 FIB, and now the first support is at $6.09 and the second support is at $5.92. Looking the other way, we will start by marking a strong resistance zone from $6.37 to $6.51. When the price goes up from this zone, the next resistance is at $6.62, the third at $6.73, and then the fourth at $6.89. At this point, it is worth looking at the Ema Cross 10 and 30, as we can see the red Ema Cross 10 curves, while when it crosses the green Ema Cross 30 from above, it will give us confirmation of the return to the downtrend. As you can see on the CHOP index, we have a lot of energy for further moves. MACD confirms the ongoing local downtrend, while on the RSI we have a rebound and we have gone to the lower part of the range, which gives us room for new increases. Technical analysis is provided by a third party and for informational purposes only. It does not reflect the views of CryptoDaily, nor is it intended to be used as legal, tax, investment, or financial advice.